The cry of a baby echoed through the forest of Nifa. Do I hear the cry of a baby, or is it just my ears deceiving me? Madike set himself in the forest. In his 30 years of hunting at night, he had heard stories of evil spirits coming out at night to lure people away. He didn't know if this cry was truly from a baby or from a spirit, so he went closer to where the cry was coming from. And for it to belong to a baby, what human being will enact such a horrible act, just leaving a baby in the forest to die? Emadike headed straight to the direction of the crying baby. In the silence of the night, under the moonlight, the baby girl was wrapped in the kente cloth and left in the forest to die. He dropped his hunting tools and picked up the crying baby and hurried home to his wife. Senna, wake up! Emadike gently woke his wife. The realization of a baby girl in her husband's arm jolted her to reality. Whose baby is this? She asked. Emadike narrated the event of his encounter with the baby to his wife in the wee hours of the morning. Such a cruel world. How can a parent just dump their newborn baby just to rot away in the woods? Senna continued. My love, we've been married for 10 years without a child. Maybe this is the way of the gods blessing us with a baby. Let's do our best and take care of this child and let the God do the rest. This is what they did. Emadike and Senna took care of the abandoned child and named her Chidozie, meaning, may God fix it and make it good for us, or me. They brought her up with care and love. Each and every day, the abandoned baby became beautiful. The people of Nifa, who had once mocked Senna and Emadike for their childlessness, praised them for their parenting. No one knew where the child came from, and the couple never disclosed the whereabouts of the child and how the child came to be. Emadike and his wife noticed the good fortune that came upon their household when Chidozie showed up in their life. The little girl was becoming the light and the ray of hope in their life. Everything in their life had doubled in tenfold, and their life was beautiful. Even the barren Senna got pregnant and bore a beautiful girl. Emadike and his family had become one of the most prominent people in Nifa, just to say. Gradually, after Senna had given birth to her daughter Chida, she began to love Chidozie less and less each and every day. She purposely left Chidozie out of family events and began treating her like the outsider she was. Both girls grew up beautifully. One evening, whilst the world was quiet, Emadike said to his wife, Senna, when we didn't have a child, you treated Chidozie like your own, loved and cherished her. Ever since we had Chida, I realized you treat Chidozie like an outsider. Remember, it is because of that child that we have all the wealth and prosperity that we do now. Emadike talked sense into his wife Senna, but she couldn't bring herself to love Chidozie like before. After all, she had her own child now, and this continued. Though Chidozie knew and saw how her mother began treated her, she still loved her mom the same. One day, the palace announced a tragedy. The crown prince was sick of an unknown illness. It was said that the man that can heal the prince will be given more gold than he can count, and the woman who will be able to heal him shall become the princess and the wife of the prince. This news brought joy to the hearts of both men and women. That night, Imadike called his two daughters and said to them, "My beautiful daughters, I know the plant that can heal the prince, but I'm too old and my age won't permit me. Therefore, at midnight, you are supposed to go into the forest, but only the gifted eyes can see. And the plant needs to talk to you first before you pluck it." Emadike told his daughters and sent them to their huts so they can set off at an early hour of the night. Before they left, Senna called Chida and said to her, "My daughter, your sister Chidozie is a lucky girl since birth and have always been. I am sure she'll find the right plant. Make sure to swap her herbs with yours before you leave the forest," Senna warned her daughter. Chidozie and Chida set off into the night. In the dawn of the night, Chida's eyes followed her sister's every move and action. She saw Chidozie stocking her sack with herbs. Though she never saw a glow, she saw her sister had the right herb. She stocked hers with a random herb and said to her sister, "Let me help you, sister. You look tired." Chidozie rejected her request many times, but with much persistence, Chida was able to convince her to let her hold her sack. Chidozie, oblivious to her sister's plans, gave her sack to her sister to hold as he headed home. Chida was able to switch her herbs for her sisters. Before the sun was up, Emadike and his two daughters were part of the hundreds of people lined up on the way to heal the prince. The prince lay in the huge bed with his eyes open, but with no movement. Chida went first, having her sister's help. Coupled with good luck, she thought she could heal the prince, but it didn't work. She calmly stood back and watched as her sister followed. She took her herbs that she had switched and rubbed it between her hands and squeezed its liquid into the nostrils of the prince. And like magic, instantly, the prince sneezed and began movement. His movement wasn't anything massive, but little movement. It was going to get better from there, the chief priest said to them. Chida, who felt calmed, began yelling, "Those herbs were mine. I exchanged the herbs like Mom told me, Papa. That herbs was mine." "My daughter," Imadike said to his daughter, "I lied to you. The herbs only work when you have faith that it would work. And clearly you didn't have faith that the plant you uprooted was going to work on the prince. That is why you switched yours for your sister's. Your sister, on the other hand, believed that even if it was just any other herb, it will work. And that was why hers worked." Chidozie was declared the new princess of Nifa in front of the hundreds of its occupants, and her mother and sister burdened with jealousy, and her father happy for her. She was the best and the wisest princess to ever live in Nifa.